Well, here we are. The Smuggler's Moon. It's the gaping maw of Shaddaa, swallowing all the cargo and spaceport thugs the galaxy has to offer. Mandalorians, mercenaries, war veterans, and pilots from the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War ended up on Shaddaa, from all sides of the conflict. When the last war ended, there was no place left for them to go. Shaddaa's a rough place and easy to get lost in. Or for someone to get lost. If we wanted to keep out of sight from the Sith for a while, you couldn't pick a better spot. It means glorious jewel in Huttese, but don't let that fool you. It's the central breeding grounds of the Hutts. Shaddaa orbits it. Nal Hutta's as slimy as the Hutts. Lots of swamp and bloated gas. It's where those slugs reach out and grab chunks of the galaxy. Trust me, we're not going to go anywhere near the place unless we want to be washing the stink out of our clothes for the next few years. Anyone flying the Star Lanes has docked on Shaddaa at least once. I wouldn't want to live there, and I doubt anyone does by choice. Not everyone who came to Shaddaa were soldiers. A lot of worlds were destroyed by the Mandalorians, and the Jedi. Left a lot of people wandering the galaxy. Yeah, some came looking for work running freight and cargo. Still, there's only so many ships to go around and so many workers, so others lend their weapons to the Hutts in the exchange. It's become a prime base for raider recruitment across the galaxy. I've plotted a course for the refugee sector, and we should touch down within the hour. Once we're down, we should finally be able to breathe easy. There's no way anyone's gonna find us here.
You have heard that the Jedi comes to Shaddaa. While she walks upon the Smuggler's Moon, she is not to be harmed. Observe her, track her, but do not eclipse her movements, or I shall eclipse yours. You must, because one Jedi attracts others. It is the way of things.
Dawachosimu poindorakawa ichirendumu paramakawa na abawasi. Yukroren wan mapusiti nolara.
Honta no saka, jita bedwana maticha, kichu no kada mirenito. Renfiloso ni heku chupanaret atamakcha.
Taranamo sibu endasarans, crema sunkun ratungala, chawi mo jubu inkosoracha. Bo mababe wanto susintu mukarata. Tu esfektonatada ber mabar chokto. Torenibu inturata sisi me burokra.
Request. If Goto's vessel is no longer neutral ground, inform us so that we might initiate assassination protocols and commence firing at once.
Kavadumpe masuraku popayi botenya tachimorota kamsa javaskobo sabjo rijiso karvenokso mochitosa sagrendeyo kichu no kada mirenito. Renfiloso ni heku chupanaret atamakcha. Dahupo boteño go jucho picha, gwem taba ni sochu, norotoga proto lalashishi, jubadosa jibacha, ratakmansan, tokosha na chitola.
Observation. Jedi follow the self-destructive path of pacifism and tolerance. They will not attack first.
Doverinincha, yonona shitasa chuch. Doverinincha, yonona shitasa chuch. Goli rosodish. Ranta kras mobas.
Ah, the beautiful stench and decay of desperate living.
This moon, it teems with life. It is difficult to center oneself.
Never have I been to a place so alive with the Force, yet so dead to it. The contrast is like a blade.
Welcome to Nar Shaddaa. Towering buildings kilometers high and miles deep, with canyons so wide you could have a dogfight in them. Word of warning, watch where you step, or you'll fall for hours. Maybe a little, but landing here means we didn't have to transmit our ID signature. You know what trouble that always brings. In fact, while we're here, we should get those signatures changed. Wouldn't make us such a target when we enter a new system. No, but I forgot to tell them we were landing. The refugee sector's a dead zone. No one cares too much who flies in and out of here as long as they're not carrying cargo that the exchange or the Hutts might want a piece of. Sure, most of the landing pads around here are unclaimed, or should be. They're pretty badly maintained, so they're not safe to land on. Well, I mean, not this one. But they all have the reputation, so we should be all right. I think. Yeah, in all its glory. Don't get your hopes up from what you see here, though. As soon as we hit the main sector, that's when the smell and the mobs can get pretty bad. All right, then, let's move out. Where are we headed exactly?
It does not matter where we go. If what we seek is here, we shall come upon it in due time.
Yeah, if you want to stay on the ship and meditate some more, don't let us stop you.
Finding a Jedi, or anyone else touched by the Force here, will be difficult. The mass of people, the rush of their emotions. It makes detection difficult. But this moon does not get any smaller while we wait. This sector is as good as any place to begin our search, so let us begin.
Well, if we're gonna search a moon of a few billion inhabitants for one Jedi that even our own can't sense, might as well start as soon as possible. Well, that means finding either a bounty hunter, a ranking member of the Exchange, or someone willing to talk, none of which are too appealing. Bounty hunters in the Exchange are going to want to shoot you, and someone who is willing to talk to anyone, which means trouble.
The bounty is a waste of our efforts. All that matters is the Jedi. The intentions of the thugs of this moon are of no consequence.
It's up to you. There's bound to be someone in the sector willing to spill their guts for a credit or two. Alright, if you have any questions, just ask. We should be able to leave the ship here as long as we want. No one supervises these landing pads anymore.
You there!
Uh-oh.
What's with you? Letting that piece of junk sink its struts into my landing pad! It'll be fine where it is. Yeah, I guess you're right. And by right, I mean you're wrong. Telling me it'll be fine where it is. What, you think I'm stupid? I got another ship coming in, and unless you want that piece of junk's hull crushed flat, you better move it. Got it? Yeah? Well, this is the first I've heard of it. Hutts don't do business down there. This is exchange territory. You call the shots. But this is gonna be trouble. I can feel it.
My life is yours.
No! Look, you can't keep us trapped in the refugee sector. We can't survive there. You've got us locked in. No.
Let's settle this. Time to even die. More where that came from.
Thanks for your help. They would have crippled me for sure. Well, they work for the Exchange, for a Quarren named Visquis. He's looking to step up in the Exchange. The only language the Exchange respects is money, so Visquis is trying to increase his profits by using the refugees here in Nar Shaddaa as a cheap labor force. We're only good to him as slaves and merchandise. He wants to keep us in one place, so he can control us. That's always been the way. Well, except lately. The Exchange has been clamping down on the refugee sector hard, and I've no idea why. They've started kidnapping people, hurting others, but there seems to be no reason to it. You don't. He comes to you. If he's got reason to. Either because you can help him out, or because you're making trouble. Either way, it's not a good thing. Whatever your reasons, thanks.
Spare a few credits, friend? Much appreciated, friend. Life's hard in the refugee sector, and this should go a long way to helping. All right. I don't know much beyond the refugee sector here, but I can share what I know. No, should I? He doesn't sound like a Hutt. What, is he a bounty hunter or an exchange boss? This sector's filled with refugees from the Jedi Civil War, and even as far back as the Mandalorian Wars. Refugees and war veterans both, and anyone else who was rendered homeless by the war. The Jedi destroyed planets across the galaxy, and here's where the wreckage ended up. That's two names for one thing. It's difficult to tell in the crossfire, and the Sith were led by Jedi. In the end, it didn't make much difference. A lot of space lanes cross at Nar Shaddaa, and once here, it's hard to move on. Even fighter pilots from the war can't get work at the docks. The freighter crews are full up. There's no work here and no way out, unless you want to become a hired muscle for the exchange, or work in a Hutt slave camp. Look, one other thing. It's obvious you're new around here. I can tell it just by looking at you. Nar Shaddaa can be a rough place, and easy to get lost in. If you want, I can keep an ear out for you. Let you know if I hear anything. I'll do that then. I'll come seek you out if I hear anything I think you might want to know.
I saw what you did to those exchange thugs, stranger. Can you spare a few credits, maybe help another refugee in need? Thank you, stranger. I won't forget your kindness.
Why did you do such a thing? Such kindnesses will mean nothing. His path is set. Giving him what he has not earned is like pouring sand into his hands. And would that be a kindness? What if by surviving another day he brings a greater darkness upon another? The Force binds all things. The slightest push, the smallest touch, sends echoes throughout life. Even an act of kindness may have more severe repercussions than you know or can see. By giving him something he has not earned, perhaps all you have helped him become is a target. Seeing another elevated often brings the eyes of others who suffer. And perhaps in the end, all you have wrought is more pain. And that is my lesson to you. Be careful of charity and kindness, lest you do more harm with open hands than with a clenched fist. Very well, but mind what I have said. Use your power, but in its proper place.
Geraktada cemense bengar rukutodo unde juju namataso benkish manensitse. Fela dibono ta munikranakada. Tere wana jung konata dela raguno tunna. Dai rento ru kawrekare papanala ranshinga. Terache wemeno totorere senisensen. Charanana gundoso remina che l'orakto guru katpada. Fiaratore pada no ringa tel camarada tel fibu nubu de bikarana cenirara. Tere wana jung konata dela raguno tunna. Dai rento ru kawrekare papanala ranshinga. Terache wemeno totorere senisensen. Tere wana jung konata dela raguno tunna. Dai rento ru kawrekare papanala ranshinga. Terache wemeno totorere senisensen. Der rinturunto wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan gorsada nane gra dalonuta choloren. Dosane gravalantro kwe wapa teratana chingaradana. Geraktada cemense bing. Der inturunto wakare kwe wapger.
And what did she want?
Not much. Just answers to some questions.
Really? Interesting.
Haven't heard anything more yet. I'll come seek you out if I do.
The bounty hunters have been laying low recently, like they're waiting for something.
Graci ubaci kompadwana muska na boska wamba. Kavadumpa munsuru kuplaliyawa bo bagaragawanda yaitua ulwanjiuma. Bornaci ninso pamarranca wongo kumbiaste. Tonga buga shame zanini chonkai chitera ritsa sabata. Muliwrawa iberendia tia Vishnu nunga se utati ramata mandrakotu sa minaringkadin. Bornacinin sopa Tiumpe dove punta crita zino muleranni bono. Ichiret kurangata ingkung tanggawai kere rotawa yatu kauluan. kavadumpa munsuro kuplaliyawa, bo bagaragawanda yaitua ulwanjiuma.
Malampas tarawando krimogawan. Kurmaka trakta vashambash. Joroga komoshi. Juto monshi dakajim. Jona yurturanga chi wi ita. Bamuslimo podalmawanga kun. Bis mula rabest. Panesuka kran. Joka mata storch ban locha.
Jun sobe me rapa, no kuma randisa mak chiksa, kuja bak tong kinka mata kata, chopa wanga kun not kat yutka kes.
Moga chi nota harembe wana chi, drum papa nakares magre, kavadumpa ku papa yi mokata, yuzuta monorcha des, noma inso dizinka. Da hupo botenya go jucho picha, gwem taba ni sochu, norotoga proto lala shishi, juba dosa jibacha, ratak mansan, tokosha na chitolo. Takam tuchis miku mogo graba, kichichu ida hodanga, mi paden, tuning tachu kun ni best, kavadumba ku. Kavadumpe masuraku, popayi botenya, Tache kavadumpe masuraku popayi botenya tache morota kamsa javaskobo sabjo rijiso karvenokso mochito sasa grindeyo kavadumpe masuraku popayi botenya tache morota kamsa javaskobo sabjo rijiso karvenokso mochito sasa grindeyo
Sunaranga machochane, dota lutu. Padu krem so chichi no, shi wendido, dron titi yaba. Morata gomana, kova chokchi, moskali, miki mokba moka.
Donina chiwa, kota wind, vorka no shawatama. Kavadumpe masuraku, popayi botenya, tache morota kamsa, javaskobo sabjo. Rijiso karvenokso, mochito sasa grindeyo. Kavadumpe masuraku, popayi botenya, tache morota kamsa, javaskobo sabjo. Rijiso karvenokso, mochito sasa grindeyo. Moga chinota harembe wanachi, drumpaba nakares magre. Kavadumpa ku papayi mokata, yuzuta monorcha des, noma inso dizinka. Da hupo botenya go jucho picha, gwem taba ni sochu, norotoga proto lala shishi, juba dosa jibacha, ratak mansan, tokosha na chitolo. Kichu no kada mirenito. Renfiloso ni heku chupa na red, atamakcha. Kavadumpe masuraku, popayi botenya, tache morota kamsa, javaskobo sabjo, rijiso karvenokso, mochito sasa grindeyo. Kavadumpe masuraku, popayi botenya, tache morota kamsa, javaskobo sabjo, rijiso karvenokso, mochito sasa grindeyo.
Such suggestions are only effective on the weak-willed.
Heruta, Jinking, Monini Bobo, Nidonjo. Ichawa te crossi wisio toda si, e crimba choku indindo. Kawana bota yunta tanga kinamatura. Tayaita, ta bosananansata. Kavadumpa munsuru kuplaliyawa, bo bagaragawanda yaitua ulwanjiuma. Tarakrono king bolotonga chopa chavwa genro.
Loka kamaran endoso ran with no chabi. Tarana mosibu endasarans. Krema sunkun ratungala. Chawi. Tarana mosibu endasarans. Krema sunkun. Donos emaragith. Wanarakorachi drumka sa inchobin sasha. Dosimana. Loka kamaran endoso ran with no chabi. Tu rantamana sobu. Tarana mosibu endasarans. Krema sunkun ratungala. Chawi mo jubu inkosoracha. Tarana mosibu endasarans. Krema sunkun ratungala. Chawi mo jubu inkosoracha. Tarana mosibu endasarans. Krema sunkun ratungala. Chawi mo jubu inkosoracha.
Dorota sinta winoto, putemali lichuna jichisca, un corda saboraco. Fasa susho wi, kanaina doka ches, kapato rondi loso chi rana dikpik, na ji ka chi a ubangta. Me poga rifti noso me mastolo, yokolopoi, tuana muki. Crimso chi mapo hirembi kachapas pato, kruta mawi, tonapa makaret. Dok ini kemarin zuni inash di John Bla wenso mas, tong abaw shan uninong. Tonichi ramagrinzo mos rapana, rakachon mot nichoran, kuno konasa. Dawanga nochi, roren manama, kochpa ino shan opora. Poso ma britushniki tuk tuk pamba, bora, tino morira nibo non kin un patno koktek. Dok ini kemarin zuni inash di John Bla wenso mas, tong abaw shan uninong. Hoshmanfu ni wado ni kuta maasapa, tong hitwa maji, yumaliba to atong into tune.
Loka kamaran endoso. Tarana mosibu endasaran.
Dahupo boteño go yucho picha, gwem tabani sochu, norotoga proto lalashishi, juba dosa jibacha, ratak mansan, kavadumpe masuraku, popayi boteña, tachimorota kamsa, javasko bosabjo, rijiso karvenokso, mochito sasagri.
Please, look, I already paid the exchange what I have. But oh, look! Here's the one with your credits. About time. Look, these gentlemen are getting impatient. How did you do that? Stay away from me!
It is strange. As you acted, suddenly I acted. It is like we were fighting in tandem as a force bond. Though I do not feel the same connection. Your impulse to kill, to attack that one, I felt it mirrored in me. It was a strange sensation. It was as if I had no choice in the matter. Yes, that bond that develops between master and their apprentice. Or between those that feel the force. Traumatic moments can bind. Just as proximity and slow growth may bind as well. Perhaps, nevertheless, the impulse was strong. Yes, that bond that develops between master and their apprentice. Or traumatic moments can bind. Just as proximity and slow growth may bind as well. Perhaps, nevertheless, the impulse was strong.
Ugh, the stink here in the refugee sector is worse than the rest of Narsha.
Sarda chornilo tabe duana mataka nus dogulupan. Daka prota gocha jarkomati sochpan lorcha. Yotachi sabarinish.
Your thoughts are disturbed. I can feel them from a great distance, like a shiver running through you. It is Shaddaa, the true Shaddaa that you feel around you. It is this moon, with the metal and machines stripped away and the currents of the Force laid bare. I'm surprised you can feel it. I fear the damage to you had deadened you to such perceptions. What you feel is the echo of the minds of these creatures within the Force. Their anger, their greed, their desperation. It is life. One might as well heal the universe, but such manipulation is possible, yes. It requires that one be able to feel the critical point within the fractured mass, and know how to strike it in such a way that the echoes travel to your intended destination. Have you learned nothing? Healing is manipulation, and if you do not realize it yet, then you will discover that an act of healing depends largely on your perspective. Manipulation is done through propelling events, or selected ones, into motion. It is done through teaching, through example, and through conviction. And the greatest of victories are not manipulations at all, but simply awakening others to the truth of what you believe, of hearing it echoed around you in life. But let us be silent. Words and thoughts are distractions. Feel this moment, for as long as it will last. Feel life as it is, with the crude matter stripped away.
Doverinincha, yonona shitasa chuch. Wanatu mobayes. Dorcha no bankani honkades. Torsenta winoto. Tono tucha. Tocha rama kaka musran kana.